If they had Road and Flawless, you'd probably have the strongest
yeah,
IMAY you can get.
It'd be completely different. But as you can see, we've entered into picks and bans for game number 1. Raz, thank you so much for your analysis. He'll be joining us after to help break down this best of 3, the final one of week number 1 of the LPL Summer Split. We've got Kennen Syndra banned away, and Invictus Gaming, they have apparently done a lot of research, or either that or they're listening to us right now. That's a Lee Sin ban, a Elise ban, targeted towards Flawless.
And you'd have to expect a Zac to come with it, basically, with how they've banned this so far. I'm not entirely in agreement with the ban orders, so unless IG are happy to let a Zac go through and counter it, or they're expecting IMAY to ban it 3rd, which would be curious, then I feel like they should have actually banned the Zac in number 1 or number 2, and then went with the Elise in or the Elise in the 3rd.
Yeah, so we've actually got a Karma ban out of IMAY. That means both Galio and Zac are open, but IG immediately follow up with that Zac ban. And with Amazing J as such a huge player for the team of IMAY, it's no surprise to see them pick that right up. And
there
immediately, Duke goes to his classic Fiora.
Yeah, so the reason that I think this is okay from IG, I just said the ordering of the bans might have been a bit iffy, is that with Galio up, Fiora is known as one of the very few counters that is there to the Galio. It's actually still a difficult lane to play, as the Fiora requires a lot of skill, so only the best players in the world can actually use it as a counter.
Yeah.
Duke plays a lot of it. Duke is a very good Fiora player, and so this might not actually be the matchup that they end up with. The top laner might get flexed here, and Galio might just want to go mid to actually combat this pick.
Yeah, it certainly could be that way. Invictus Gaming, though, will follow that up with Thresh for Megan. 2 huge priority picks in 7-10. And now IMAY, they're going to pick up some crowd control to try to answer, as Braum is the lock-in for Starlight.
And curiously, instead of going for the Nidalee that was hovered, they do go to the Braum. So they pick themselves the lane instead of going a Tahm Kench. They actually commit to the Braum, so I would imagine an Ashe even to be seen here with this Braum to be the 2v2 bottom lane. Maybe protect him and actually have some extra engage for the team.
And the last second swap over, we've got that bottom lane focus now out of IMAY. Jinzhao and Starlight going to be taking Caitlyn and Braum. And without any junglers just yet, we'll see how the next phase of bans goes, as there's already 3 jungle bans targeted out towards Flawless, and now IG get 2 more.
And weirdly enough, Varus, which is quite often referred to as the budget Ashe, has been locked in as the priority over. So from what we're looking at here, you'd have to imagine the reasoning for this is something along the lines of less committal with the rest of his kit. But to be honest, I compare them. I think it's personal preference, and West has preferred his Varus.
With the follow-up, it looks like Invictus Gaming are going to prioritize banning out Amazing J's top lane a little bit more, as that's a Rumble ban. So perhaps expecting that Galio to go mid away from that Fiora, as you suggested.
Well, when you counterpicked it, you'd want to hope that they actually flex it, otherwise there's something else going on here with IMAY.
Yeah, looks like IMAY are going to follow up with a Victor ban, so can you really... If you're not banning out Victor's champion Ocean, are you just like taking a single cup and scooping out 1 glass of water?
You're getting rid of the things that'll beat what you're playing the best.
Okay.
Right? You're not removing Rookie's champion pool here, but you've picked a Galio, and in my opinion anyway, I might be completely wrong, is that Deathfire Touch users are actually quite good against Galio. The consistent burn means he'll never really get his shield back. And you do have a pretty good experience in your laning phase. Might be the solution to the Galio there just a little bit. Victor... And from what we've seen of Rookie, should be an Orianna probably following it. Yeah. They've already gotten rid of the Syndra. Like, just above and beyond Rookie's best champions anyway.
Just keep on banning away as many champions as you can from him. Try to limit him to something that has less huge potential on this patch. We could still see a Kassadin, as Kha'Zix is now banned away from Ning. But, ooh, this could be exciting. You already mentioned the mobility and the combination once you get Rookie on a highly mobile champion.
I don't think we'll see a Twisted Fate specifically. I mean, he's not cool. I already mentioned the Orianna is one of his standout picks. And for me, the Kha'Zix ban is actually super curious when Orianna is up and available.
Ooh, perhaps predicting Rookie to be taking something more confident in the mid lane, which could allow them to target out that jungle pool a little bit more.
Oh, I hope they lock that. That is some nutty top lane fights.
Camille very strong into Fiora. The Precision Protocol very good. It becomes a tough decision. What do you riposte? The second hit of the Precision Protocol, or do you try to save it for the Hextech Ultimatum? And Camille now locked in for Amazing J in the top lane.
Yeah, so we do have that awesome battle between the duelists, so to speak, in the top lane. You've got the battle of when do I riposte, how do I riposte, and can I just dodge instead and be a better player? You never really know until it happens.
Skill matchup. I mean, it is Duke. Like, I love watching Duke's Fiora. It's so much fun.
But there's just not a lot of damage on the side of IMAY. They lock this one in as well.
As now Nidalee is locked in. They've got Caitlyn, Camille, Nidalee, Galio. I know Raz loved Nidalee. He's been playing a lot of it lately.
And when I say there's not a lot of damage, I mean team fighting type of stuff. This is pretty much protect the Caitlyn. You'd expect Camille and Fiora to be off with the fairies 1v1ing in their sick duels top lane. So we'll have to see what they round this one out with IG, because they have a very solid roster of 4.
And looks like Ning is going to be taking Graves for his final pickup in the jungle. And as you said, it is a very strong roster, perhaps lacking a bit of tankiness. But they've got more than enough crowd control to damage to make up for it.
Which, weirdly enough, I might have actually preferred the Olaf just a little bit for that reason. But against the Nidalee, when it's the best tempo clear jungler in League of Legends right now, at least according to Spawn, I know he loves Nidalee and he's been playing a lot of it in practice tools. So when you can clear that quickly, starting with your Raptors, Graves is one of the best champions at matching it. And I feel like that's what we're going to be seeing a bit of here in the reasoning for that over the Olaf that was considered by IG here.
And with that rounding out, we've now got our final compositions locked in. It's our first chance to check in with IMAY and see where they stand after coming out in the Demacia Cup swinging. And now their opponents, Invictus Gaming, they've been making some changes to the roster, as they always do. Is this finally the one that they're going to stick with? Is this the one that allows them to finally see success? We're not going to get our answers after this best of 3, but hopefully it can give us some clues as to what those answers might be.
And we've got high hopes for IMAY. We've always had pretty high hopes for them coming into it. We didn't expect them to go to Worlds, but they did it. You never expected them to do too well in the last split, but they still managed to make playoffs and do their bit. And now coming into this split, the World split, the one that'll make them the hungriest, you have to expect big things from them once again. But they're up against IG. And to contrast that, you really don't know what IG are going to be. They're kind of like LGD in that they're a box of chocolates.
You never know what you're going to get.
But they can be awesome if you get the right one.
Sometimes. Just have to get the right flavor. That's when you get one of the box of chocolates that has the piece of paper on top that has the corresponding chocolate picture on it.
That's cheating.
That describes it.
Legit cheating. I don't know, man. To each their own.
Yeah. With that, though, we're just about ready to load onto the Rift here. Looking to see how IG are going to come out in this. Will they continue that victorious momentum that led them in game number 1 against Team WE with some strong tenacity throughout the rest of the series to try to pull themselves through, or perhaps take it a little bit easier? This isn't the number 1 team in the league. Do they have to go at 100%? We will find out.
I'm going to say yes, Dom, just because both of these teams, whilst not number 1, are definitely powerhouses within the LPL, and they can definitely bring it to one another. So first time we're seeing IMAY, you'd expect 100% out of them. And IG already going down in 1 set this week, but being able to take a game off Team WE shows that they're not just sitting down and relaxing either, not resting on their laurels. They do mean business.
And now with this very strong composition, we'll see how they fare against IMAY, as it's a defensive line for both of the teams set up across the map. Looks like we've got both junglers starting out on that top side. You already mentioned the clear speed of that Nidalee.
Yep, and no Storm Raiders to be seen on any of them as we're looking at the Keystone Mastery. So Thunderlords apiece could mean that whilst they're trying to jungle quickly, they might even go for some quick invades and try and find some ganks weaved in amongst all of this. But as you mentioned, quick jungle clears kind of dictates a hard farming jungle. But that's where laning phase is important. If your mid laner is winning, then you've got tempo near the Raptors. If your top laner is winning, you get some free Krogs for your troubles. We have to watch how lanes pan out first.
Yeah, and speaking of lanes panning out, bottom lane West looks like he's not having too great a time as he takes a few hits from Jin Zhao, and they will actually clear out that very quick ward from IMAY on that side of the map. So minor vision advantage in lane, but it is still Varus and Thresh against the likes of Caitlyn Braum. It's going to be a rough setup down there, and Jin Zhao is already doing his best to zone West away.
That's basically just the name of the game down here with the Caitlyn lane. Jin Zhao, we haven't really mentioned him much leading up to this game, but honestly has been the shining light of IMAY. Has been fantastic all last split. His Cogmore play, his hyper carry, scaling, and his late game team fighting is where he excels the most, and so we'll have to keep our eyes peeled on him. But winning laning phase already means starting off the right way is as expected.
Oh, Duke gets a very fast level 2 and brings Amazing J down to half. It's Dorian shield start for both of them, so they should be able to regenerate it back. But Amazing J's got to protect his vitals.
And didn't start with riposte here, Duke. He's gone for the extra on-hit damage, which is why the trade went so well, as junglers have said g'day.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage to Flawless as he finally leaps over the wall. Ning gets the better of this encounter, but there's still a lot more time for these junglers to trade.
Yeah, and at the same time, it just means the Scuttle Crab will go to him, and that's a lot of extra money in the pockets of Ning. Also winning that trade speaks well, as Duke is not stopping.
He's almost got his next lunge up. Just decides to bring Amazing J down to 200. Huge damage as he's up to full 8 stacks on Fervor.
And I think what's important here with this trade is that Duke's got a pretty big minion wave that he can keep at a neutral location. Amazing J's health has been brought down so low that it's within kill range, but it doesn't push him out of lane. So potions used, massive potion advantage. If Duke can get it to the turret, reset the wave, and he's happy.
Yeah, finally the tactical sweep leveled up for Amazing J as a hook tags onto Starlight in the bottom lane. There is a lot of harass coming down on this side of the map, the mid lane and the top lane. Seems like nobody's content to just sit back and farm, as we are getting a lot of trading all over the place. Athena even going so far as to start Corrupting Potion, Dark Seal as he teleports back into mid lane.
Yeah, it means he's hard trying to trade. Rookie has been pushing him out though, so forced into a little bit of an earlier recall, as you can see on your screen, conveniently pushing him. In saying that, the difference here is that Athena has a teleport and now has much more efficient potion usage, where Rookie's gone for the cleanse, which is less about laning phase, more about surviving either ganks or team fighting. And so the stark contrast here means you'll still give the slight edge in that middle lane to the Galio.
Flawless is sneaking just past Ning right now, and he's able to make it behind Duke. It's 1 versus 2. He's got Flash. Flash to get away from the hook shot. Keeps Duke plenty safe.
Flawless missed that on purpose because of the riposte, but he doesn't hit the spear. Everything kind of subsides. He's still got a really nice little look inside there. However, the flash, you'll be happy with the flash, still didn't do any damage to Duke. So there's a full health Fiora. Whenever the riposte is back off cooldown, things are all right on the rift up there in top lane for IG.
Yeah. And if ever there's someone who you feel good getting ganked on, it's Fiora. Because you get that one little part of your brain that's like, I can totally outplay this.
You know what doesn't feel good, though? Is last time IG played, Duke was like 0-5.
Yeah, that was...
He's getting ganked a lot. He's getting the Marin treatment.
Which really is a tragedy. Marin had so much potential.
I think the big reason that they get this Marin treatment, so to speak, is that they're just so focused on winning lane. And when you're trying to win lane in the LPL, it's actually a lot easier to get ganked, opposed to other ways around. That was an interesting timing of a spear.
Yeah. Rookie's just as surprised as Ning. Wait, there's actually an Italy here? There goes Duke. Rocking those
Big
vitals.
win from Duke. If he gets this one.
Oh, manages to get the crit as well, and an immediate hook shot to bounce him back. But Amazing J still holds on to his flash. He's still got a teleport advantage, as junglers now show up mid to try breaking up some of these minions.
Yeah, assisting the recall here. Rookie unfortunately missing the cannon. May it forever rest in peace. Just means they both get to go back to base. Both junglers and supports are just around. They're all around.
There's a lot of movement this game. Invictus Gaming are up and down the map. Ning has been pretty hard farming, but luckily he's been able to keep pace with that lightning Nidalee moving throughout the jungle. That leaves West all on his lonesome, and Junjiao immediately punishes him for it.
And of course, going for the Warlord Bloodlust here on the Caitlyn. Has a bit of extra sustain. But really, when a Caitlyn goes for a Doran Shield, you pretty much know that you're in a weird patch. Should probably be a Blade.
I mean, it kind of makes sense to me that we're seeing everyone focus so much on these lanes in the early jungle pathing from Flawless, because there's a Cloud Dragon. We're not going to see Rift Herald for another 3 minutes until the 10-minute mark.
Yeah.
So unless a turret is broken super early on, these lanes should be fairly stable.
And there's no real reason to have a turret even be broken. You've got wave clear mid from both of the players. Top lane's dueling, not wave clear, and it's really far too committal to try and actually take out a turret. So the current state of the game is about farming in those lanes, and then you look towards the junglers. Well, it's not a Lee Sin versus an Elise, it's a Graves versus an Nidalee. They want to farm, get level 6, and honestly, when a Nidalee ticks over to 6, which she just did, all it means is you farm faster. It doesn't actually give you some kind of combat stat like a Lee Sin's ultimate would do. It just means you do more damage. Ning, same thing applies. He's ticked over to 6, pretty much the same time as the solo lanes. That's how hard they're farming. doesn't actually mean that he wants to go to a lane and use his ultimate to do something meaningful with it, unless he wants to get a kill. Right now, farming's the same thing for these guys. Their scaling's pretty much identical. The difference here is that one scales a little bit more tanky. So I'd say, if I was IMAY, I'd want to fight closer to the 1-item spike, where, you know, IG might want to wait for 2 items.
We just saw Megan leashing Ning's red buff and heading up towards the top side, perhaps predicting another invade from Flawless. But instead, Flawless is continuing to invade. Now junglers are heading bottom.
I think it was more monitoring a potential lane swap. It was there just in case you'd have to imagine. The bottom lane's recalled. Yeah, and Jin Zhao's still bottom. Braum is still there, but because they were missing, it's a better safe than sorry scenario.
We've got an On My Way ping from Amazing J and Flawless. But a control ward spots him away, and immediately Rookie backs up. Even another control ward on the side to keep himself safe. So good investment into that superstar mid laner from IG as a hook tags onto Starlight. He's still Braum, though. Drops the Unbreakable, reduces some damage, walks it off.
Yeah, and saying that, the trade's still heavily won by IG.
Ooh, yeah, Chains of Corruption onto Jin Zhao. He's chunked down to half, but like you said, he's still got that Bloodlust.
And Braum can get him some health back with the Relic as well as these two. You're still just waiting for something to break up here. I think above all else, you know, we mentioned the junglers will farm a lot. We just watch the bottom lanes have a real good go at trading, but it's pretty hard to kill each other, it seems like, between these two. Nothing outright getting advantages. One has Warlord's Bloodlust, the other one's got Lifesteal. And then it's a Thresh and a Braum supporting them. You'd say maybe IG can get a kill because they have the Ignite, but it's really difficult to kill the Braum and the Caitlyn. So mostly, you'd probably say top lane.
Whoa, flash play. Megan is going to force this fight. Starlight dashes away before flashing. Ning's got the ultimate, but is exhausted. Teleport from him. Athena actually has started and canceled as this ward is cleared out.
Yeah, Athena cancels his teleport. Ning dashed backwards instead of forwards, and that would have been a kill onto Starlight, but they managed to survive. So that was attempt number 1 from one of these teams, getting a jungler into a lane, and that's what the Thresh Lantern's able to provide for you. But there's also now 3 of the 4 summoner spells used, and at that same time, in the same vein, maybe if the Ignite had gone down onto Starlight, it would have prevented the heal from saving him as well.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Ning's still holding on to his collateral damage.
Exactly.
Perhaps he could have gone for some burst.
You have to feel like that was a kill that just goes missing.
In the end, the numbers work out in favor of IMAY as they're allowed to survive. And Duke now heads back towards the top lane to try to match Amazing J even more. Rookie just being a pest. Luckily, Athena's got a passive.
Actually tickled him.
Yeah. Magic
Didn't even break his shield.
Yeah. Is that actually still just a little bit? I think it might be. There he goes. Good shield of Duran to keep him occupied, but Megan is sitting just outside of vision.
God, that feels bad. It's like when mid-Nautilus was the thing. You just can't push them out. He's just gone straight towards the Spectre's cow. What are you meant to do? Rookie needs items, but he's gone for Merc Treads because he doesn't want to be broken down. In saying that, I may not have gone for the early Merc Treads because I have a cleanse.
Yeah.
I wanted to prioritize some damage, but the move speed's super handy, so I can understand it.
Maybe expecting more pressure from Flawless, multiple ganks, or...
I mean, if you really wanted to go down the route of having MR, Banshee's Veil after going for Lost Chapter is still fine, but I think it was the move speed.
Oh, there's Flawless. And there goes West. They managed to tag a hook. The box pulls Jin Zhao in. He's already chunked down to half. They tag onto West. He's back under the turret and heals himself up in time. Here comes the rest of Invictus Gaming. Ning makes his way down. He doesn't have flash because he used it earlier, and Rookie returns back to mid. So collateral damage just to escort Jin Zhao back to his turret.
Making sure that he has to recall. I just don't know what to really break down in that particular gank as well for you, right? It just felt like Flawless, not on the same page as the rest of his team, perhaps. Braum ults, Caitlyn puts a trap down. He's well and truly locked in place. One more auto attack would have stunned West. Probably within kill range at that point, but not to be. And then Ning comes down, just throws down the collateral.
Here we can see Athena getting that good old Galio trade. Rookie gets chunked, flashes back to Ning. First blood as that's heroic leap. Ning takes...
Oh,
no Lantern. Great Hextech ultimatum, pins him into the Dragon Pit. That's 2 kills now for IMAY as they've broken this map open.
And here's a Drake I prepared earlier. Dom conveniently for IMAY as they get the 2 big kills. They break the map open a little bit. Doesn't translate into a massive amount of gold in advantage to anybody. It's literally 100 to 200 the difference right now. But still, so far so good. That kill actually puts Duke at equal footing with Amazing J, where the CS advantage was massive for them. And it all starts by Rookie walking somewhere without vision, sets up for the spear, and Force gets him just before the shockwave. If the shockwave are connected, then maybe things are different. Camille gets the ult off, and so Lantern's not going to save you. Even Jin Zhao just comes in, auto-attacks once, and says, I'll take an assist.
Flash ultimatum out of Amazing J, prioritizing that team play, whereas Duke sitting comfortably in that top lane, as you said, still even in gold with Amazing J.
And that really sums up these two as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
One's going to stay top lane. He's not going to teleport to that fight. Don't be silly. The other one will be there immediately.
With that difference, though, that is going to put, as you said, a 200 gold lead for IMAY as the game is starting to open up just a little bit more. We're seeing Flawless move a little bit more quickly around the map. And Rookie probably wondering, you know, if I had been ganked like that anyways, I probably should have just gone Banshees instead of the Merc Treads.
Looks like he's going to be rushing the Morellos either way.
Yeah.
Of course, that can build into 3 items when you've got a Fiendish Codex, but that's just what it looks like we're going towards for item slot efficiency, perhaps. Rookie's still farming well, still got experience.
Yeah, now we're seeing Starlight and Flawless moving forward to clear out some of the vision from Invictus Gaming. Ning and Megan are already there as they look to fight this. There's no dragon, and the turrets are fairly safe, so it's just a war of wards.
And I feel like that ward placed by Flawless was actually just to stop someone from dashing over to the red buff where he is now, more than actually spotting a Drake. So don't be fooled by him placing it where there's a dead Drake. Like, I'm pretty sure he knows he killed it. And I think there was actually a little bit of extra attention towards this second blue buff. At least seeing Rookie go to it, maybe there's a threat. But IG, you can see the control wards. They're well and truly aware of that fact, and they're going to try and prevent that from being taken. Rookie is super reliant on having it.
So there were just some pings on it from IMAY. Now they've got that knowledge as Rookie heads back over there. They know Ning is on this side of the map.
But 3 control wards able to defuse, and he even looks at it. They know he's missing, so he has to be at the blue, but be damned if they even get close.
Athena's level 11. He's got pretty big range on the Heroic Leap. Amazing J presses ult, and then Athena follows up with a Heroic Leap.
And Rookie's going to be bottom through vision. They've Varus ulted to go in.
Yeah, they're going on a Starlight. He sidesteps the hook, but still burning down from a lot of damage. Here's Rookie, but Ning gets the kill first.
Galio not actually able to come down and help, but still the same engage we saw before. Megan actually able to make that work. Rookie now has to try and defend 1v2 in this middle lane. Not an easy thing to do. He may have to shockwave the minions, and Athena might want to zone him before that.
He's got no flash either. There goes the shockwave. Distance to clear out the rest of it. Sidesteps the spear, and is able to buy enough time for his team to get that first turret while defending his own. Good play from Rookie.
Yeah, definitely a good play. That's why we expect the shockwave coming out of him. The goal is to keep the turret alive. It means he has a lot less threat, though, from that point onwards. So we'll have to watch what he's able to do. And if he does get ganked again, because ultimately, IMAY, knowing that Rookie's not going to be a threat, knowing that the rest of the team was bottom, they can make plays top.
Yeah, what clever vision out of Flawless to sit just outside of the side of Duke. Clears out the larger Krug while bringing Duke to half. That gets Amazing J and Flawless some chip damage on this top tier 1 turret. They've brought Starlight up here as well. They could try to force it down, but Duke is going to force a fight. He drops the grand challenge, riposts early before dashing back to the minions, but the turret is already so low.
Yeah, Duke actually using his ultimate almost like a deterrent from pushing the turret, maybe buying some time, and time is exactly what he needed to buy because West is up here. Megan will be on the way, and now the 3-man unit of IG is able to recoup and regroup towards the top side of the map after taking the bottom lane turret. This is big for IG. It gives them the gold lead. Also sets them up for success to get the second turret of the game.
Yeah, West and Megan are now pushing onto that top tier 1. It's a little bit slower recall from Jin Zhao as he's making his way up there along with Starlight and Flawless. Good heads-up play from IMAY in this extended trade to get so much chip damage on the mid-tier 1 and top tier 1.
They want to fight for this. If someone tries to clear a ward here, they do have vision.
Oh, they're now spotted. Unfortunately, they don't all make it over the wall. Megan drops the box, but eats a stun. He doesn't have a flash, and he doesn't have a chance. He dies to the rest of IMAY as Jin Zhao tries to catch up to West, but can't quite follow through. Amazing J still got the ultimatum.
He's going.
The hole. He's following through. Tactical sweep for the slow. Flash ultimatum. Flawless is there. 1 versus 3 is not enough. West goes down.
And that's IMAY just grouping up for you. They go for the turret. They get the trade. There's no way that IG are coming to help. That's absolutely right, Tom. They've got their own agenda down here in this bottom lane from what we're looking at with Duke. But it also means that IMAY have the ability to respond in the form of a teleport, maybe even 2 if it comes to it from Athena.
And this is IMAY coming up really big with this trade as they're breaking down not only the top tier 1, but that mid tier 2. Dive onto Amazing J, the heroic entrance, great riposte to try to keep himself safe, but still take some turret hits.
Actually stuns Amazing J with the riposte as well. Yeah. Rookie's now working his way down. You can see what IG wanted to do. I just don't feel like at any moment with the Galio mid lane was that a conceivable idea for them ultimately, because it can be matched so easily. Rookie doesn't have a teleport. He's not playing the Twisted Fate, so diving bottom is merely a pipe dream. They need to actually look towards getting kills on people that will die. And whenever Amazing J goes top, there should be opportunities elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, as it is, though, Invictus Gaming are able to defend Rift Herald and keep their mid-tier 1 standing, but that's barely 200, 300 health on that turret. And now West is in a very long, very unsafe lane. And he's going to try to answer back by taking the top tier 1 up there to bring it back to 2 and 2 in turrets, but IMAY have already got a little bit more momentum in having broken that part of the map open and softened up the mid. And now with Mountain Dragon on that bottom side, that could become a priority later on.
Certainly possible, but IG are just working these turrets now. That's the end goal for these guys. They've got split pushing everywhere with the Fiora. It's going to pressure bottom. At the same time, West Megan, they'll use Ning, they'll group up, they'll try and break all the outers. But IMAY, they trade when these things happen. When IMAY make plays, we haven't seen IG trade in this game very well just yet.
Yeah, it looks like this is the trade now, as Dragon is being followed up after that turret. And Rift Herald is the play from Invictus Gaming. Flawless is making his way up there, and IG, they back away. They've got enough vision to see it coming, and they decide they don't want to fight.
Yeah, they've got the vision to see it coming, but they see it coming, and they say, hell no, and immediately get out of that area. Not ideal is the outcome there, but in saying that, they get what they need on the side of IMAY, which is push them off, get the Drake, win the trade. Again, prevent the trade from Invictus Gaming.
Slowly but surely, IMAY are taking small incremental steps further and further ahead of IG. I mean, that jungle clear speed probably helps, just by getting you that momentum.
Is a machine.
Yeah.
He hasn't actually gone for your standard build here either. Usually the Athena's on Holy Grail into Lichbane, I believe, is the optimal Nidalee build currently running through LCK or Korean Solo. He's pretty much just everywhere now, though. He's gone a Health Crystal, though. We have to wonder if he's going towards perhaps the true damage Nidalee Spears. A Haunting Guys, maybe, a Rylai's Crystal Scepter even.
True damage.
SOFM does
it's only 15 magic penetration.
Well, look, it's a flat pen build then. Yeah. Sorry, mate.
Oh, he's got to finish it off, but doesn't get it in time. No smite means that Baron spawning sends Herald back home. If Herald is there to, if Herald is there to invite someone there to herald them, then by the time the person shows up, you better be done with the Herald.
He wasn't done with the Herald, so...
Yeah, fighting over the mid lane right now. Clears out that tier 1, as that's a very quick dive onto Rookie. Hero's entrance. That's going to knock him up and lock him down. Collateral damage and Ignite trades it 1 for 1. But that's top laner for mid, and there's a late teleport from Duke to flank from the side, but the fight's already been won by IMAY.
It is just such a good combo, Dom. They have a Camille ultimate, you're stuck in a circle, and then Galio ults the middle of the circle. You have to get knocked up by it. No one can help you. There is no safety, and Rookie will die. That's the premise of this. When Rookie's dead, IG don't have a lot left.
Yeah, IMAY are continuing to push up mid as they look for, IMAY look for this tier 2. They break it down, and now there's no turret for them to fight with. The rest of IG, the big damage dealers, are chunked down to half, and despite an excellent flank, again, it was too late. He's just not there fast enough.
I mean, Duke was looking at it. He really wanted to get that flank off, but it was the deepest flank of all time, and he had no assistance from his team. They're all too low. They had no mana. But this is the combo. Just watch Amazing J, and then watch Athena. Straight up. How are you meant to get out of that? There is absolutely no way to get out of that. Rookie just used his shockwave because he had to. He knew he was dead. Just like that, they get the pick that they need. And with a team comp that has no tanks here on the side of IG, with a top laner that'll rarely group, that one pick can win you the entire game. You can't take a Lantern. That's the only thing that usually saves people, which is why a Jarvan top lane hasn't been seen from Amazing J. I actually think the Camille pick is genius.
It's now 4 turrets to 2. Take a look at that top side of the map, how incredibly unsafe it is. Even West over here sees Athena, and Megan, he's awfully far back from that Varus. Can he save West if he keeps creeping forward? Seems like West decides he's going to save himself by not overextending.
I also go third item rod of ages, Dom.
Now Duke trading with Amazing J.
Nice
And there goes Starlight. Hook shot over the wall. Flash to dodge the potential knockup, but an immediate follow-up from Amazing J. This guy's a little trigger happy with his ultimate, and it is paying off.
I don't know about you, but I feel like Amazing J has flash up 24/7. I don't know how that happens, but
Yeah.
Duke now goes down. It wasn't quite a 1v1 as much as the Fiora wanted that, and you'd have to imagine that Fiora would have won that if it were a 1v1, but not to be seen. Because Braum comes down and IMAY get a pick. Now means bottom lane outer turret is going to be in jeopardy, most likely going to fall, and there's no response from Invictus Gaming.
Yeah, there's no teleport from IG. They've got to wait another 10 seconds before Duke gets back up. He's working on that bottom tier 1. Meanwhile, Athena was sitting in base on a teleport in case they had managed to find another pick. Because now that Baron's on the map with a Mountain Dragon, IMAY are just running rampant with the pace of this.
On a side note, I'm not entirely sure why he's gone for adaptive helm here as well, Athena.
I was wondering when you would notice that. I was hoping you would get to it before I did.
With Spirit Visage,
Yeah.
is just, that's dumb.
He's never going to
You're
die
dumb.
to Rookie.
But you may as well have an Abyssal Scepter to do damage. There's no damage over time spells that are going to be hitting you. Like, Rookie's going for an Athene. Sorry, not Athene's, Leandre. He's like, fantastic.
Maybe.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah. Well, Athena's always been a bit of a question mark for IMAY. Sometimes he shows up huge on his Vladimir, and you're like, yes, this is what I want. And then sometimes he does this.
I mean, he's playing fine. He just has an adaptive helm. That's it.
Yep.
Everything else is great. Athena's great.
Alrighty, so
Good
here's
bloke.
the play from IG. They're trying to siege down mid, but over the wall is Amazing J. Once again, he drops down the Hextech ultimatum. A quick follow-up from Athena is going to lock down the kill onto West, but they did lose Flawless.
Yeah, they kill Flawless, so it actually becomes a trade, and the problem there is the combo was not executed on perfectly. It was actually used a bit early from Athena just to close the distance, not to hit the knock-up. So everything kind of subsides with this particular trade. I don't think they have enough to get through a Galio and a static Shiv Caitlyn when it comes to pushing a lane. I think a lot of these fights will break out primarily around objectives when you look at IG taking on IMAY, because you just can't wave clear against one another.
Yeah, and looking to that next objective, Mountain Dragon is up right about now, and already IMAY are setting up vision as Ning clears out some of these wards, Hun Barons, before taking the longest lantern on that side of the map.
Quite long distance with his lantern. I definitely noticed that.
And yeah, this is IMAY, again, just moving backwards and forwards on IG. You mentioned the fact that IG are just having difficulty trading. Well, you can't really call it trading if IG don't get anything in return.
Exactly right, and that's basically just become a 3,000 odd gold lead, 3 Drakes to 0 lead. No one got the Herald, and if they did get it, it was IMAY that were going to get it.
Yeah.
They just timed it out.
200 health left.
Everything's coming up right here for IMAY as far as this first game's concerned.
And now we're seeing some pretty big item buys. You mentioned the Adaptive Helm Spirit Visage. You already called out the Rod of Ages on Flawless. Amazing J has finished off his own Trinity Force. And the Static Shiv Infinity Edge build out of Jin Zhao. They are going to be doing a lot of damage to IMAY, or IG if they ever find them out of position.
Yeah, he's definitely got the big items now. You're absolutely right. It's going to be near impossible to kill Athena.
Yeah.
So whilst the damage is there, also the tankiness backing them up is going to be evidenced in the 4v4.
Here we do see the rest of IMAY now maneuvering around that Baron pit, trying to clear vision, trying to secure themselves some safety. Amazing J still looking for that flank. He has been so excellent with those over this series so far. And like you said, he almost always has that flash off cooldown.
Even the Caitlyn ultimate used for just some damage as well, looking to poke out their opponents as they meander around the Baron area.
Starlight might have gone a bit too far for a ward. Takes a bit of chip damage, but meanwhile the rest of
Actually
IMAY
just
are actually on
started
the
it.
Baron. Here comes IG. They're rushing over the
No.
wall, but it's against double Mountain IMAY. Finally they peel off and reset it.
Yeah, don't be silly. They were just trying to be cute, but Vision does spot them out. If you spend so much time in the face of IG, maybe they don't think to look at the pit, but it's not to be, as Amazing J now has his hand at a flank.
Oh, this is IG looking for the mid-tier 1. Duke leading the charge, as you mentioned. Amazing J finding a flank, but he's got no health. Forced to leap over the wall with a hook shot and dies to Rookie with no follow-up from his team. Perhaps a bit overzealous.
It's not a flank if you're being killed, is the thing here from Amazing J. The idea was fine. They siege mid lane. As they're sieging, I come around and I flank, but he was spotted on wards. He 100% cleared a ward in front of him. and still unfortunately dies to it.
Ooh, big collateral damage. Chips Jin Zhao to half. Luckily, he's still sitting on that bloodlust, so he should be able to heal up. Meanwhile, Duke with teleport and the window of Amazing J's death is building a large minion wave bottom, and it looks like Ning is going down to help him.
Yeah, that's the big win here for Invictus. They're not looking to team fight, they're sieging, but by sieging, they're just looking to keep members of IMAY around. It's actually very difficult for the IMAY roster to commit to a team fight unless they flash engage with maybe Athena, but they kind of need Amazing J there to get all of that set up, get all of it moving. They won't be able to break mid lane outer. Not surprising that that's the end result of the siege mid lane, but pushing bottom is the big winners. Once again,
IMAY, this is a really dangerous game they're playing with the vision. Megan skirts around the trap line and forces them back. They are just trying their luck time and time again. And remember, IG, they've already fought over vision here. There can't be too many more wards left for them.
Yeah, there surely isn't. I mean, once again, they've started this one off. They have a lot of heals. They have a lot of sustain, remember, with the Nidalee, with Athene's Unholy Grail.
Amazing J, he drops the ultimatum. Gets Rookie separated from the team to buy some time. There's the hero's entrance ultimate. That's a knockup. They turn on to Megan. He's so low, but walks away. Finally will drop to Starlight as Duke finally joins the fight, flanking from the far side.
Ooh.
They manage to get a flash taunt onto 3 from Athena. Shield of Durant keeps them occupied. Rookie at no health chips Starlight away, while Chain of Corruption keeps Athena occupied, but he is still so tanky.
Rookie and Starlight are both so low. Braum just needs to go back to base. Do not play with your food, or it will kill you in this case. But Invictus Gaming, they're still here. And IMAY kicking the Baron off for what feels like the millionth time.
Yeah, Athena turns onto West, lands the Shield of Durand. The Baron is picked up by IMAY. No successful steal despite Ning flashing over the wall, and the rest of IG back away. But now Amazing J looks for Duke. He doesn't quite tag him with the hook shot as the spear misses as well.
Know when to call it quits, IMAY.
Yeah. Like you said, don't play with your food. Just finish the meal, small bites.
And they get the Baron buff. That's the big win here. With the Baron, they have the potential to siege now, which is something that is very difficult to do against an Orianna. They just need to have awareness of the shockwave. They're able to keep that in mind. Maybe pressure a side lane. Use Amazing J to get those flanks off. They can successfully now use that buff to get a bigger lead than they currently have. I don't know about the 1v1 though, that's the problem.
Athena's holding on to his teleport, so they've set him up in the mid lane. The rest of IMAY are now heading bottom to finally break the last remaining tier 2, as the other tier 2s were broken much, much sooner by very clear objective calling from IMAY.
I like this from IMAY going towards the lane where the Fiora is. Again, you'd feel like if Duke sees multiple people grouping up, he'll just take the 1v1 against Amazing J, try and outplay him. They don't want any of that. IMAY, they want to bring the Caitlyn down, use the Caitlyn traps as the primary source of sieging, but also pivot, place wards, go from bottom to mid, make them get drawn back and forth, and just finally get a 5-trap setup down before IG can set up, and that's the turret you commit to.
And this is against a double Mountain Dragon IMAY. They are going to continue to slowly whittle away at these turrets. Looks like Jin Zhao still holding onto his trap line for now. Hasn't quite set it up just yet, so IG get in position behind this inhib. The hook sidestepped by Jin Zhao as the first minion wave crashes in.
The traps are starting to come down as well. They're the things you're actually looking towards. It's Caitlyn versus Orianna in these siege scenarios. You've got people that will be split pushing mid. Galio very good at it because he can immediately rotate and help everybody if they start to dive. But it doesn't look like I may want to commit any further to the risky turrets. They'll take the easy objectives.
Yeah, the third and final Mountain Dragon, the last elemental dragon of the game. 30% bonus true damage to turrets, and when Elder Dragon spawns, that and Baron. They've still got Baron for about half the duration, so they've still got a little bit more time to play with this.
The crazy thing here, though, is that the Elder Dragon will legitimately just let them 2-hit objectives.
Oh, Duke, you wanted a duel. Well, I've got some bad news for you. He does proc the Grand Challenge, and he's actually going toe-to-toe with Amazing J. There's a huge amount, but the redemption doesn't come down in time. Starlight has found Ning. Tags him once, twice, 3 times, but doesn't get a stun.
And this is exactly what we said. How do you play the game out against a team that can stop you from sieging with the shockwave? You go to Duke, because his tendencies will be to 1v1, to win those 1v1s. He'll push a little bit further out than everybody else on his team. Duke was way too overextended, way too far out. I don't know where he was expecting IMAY to be. He didn't have vision to protect him, and he gets caught out of position by 2 people. Yes, he almost took one with him, but is that okay?
Not currently, as now we've got IMAY still with 60 seconds on the Baron, sieging up not one but two inhibitors as 4 versus 5. Jin Zhao gets onto it and immediately starts shredding through its health as IMAY are just moving backwards and forwards before IG can respond, using their own tendencies against them. And IG seems like they've got no answers. The inhibitor is broken and there's nothing IG can do.
No, there's absolutely no answer. Well, Duke is dead to the 3 Mountain Drakes and 2-lane siege that IMAY are just able to put down on Summoner's Rift. I think everything we're watching from them has been very sound so far. I am moderately impressed with how IMAY have been able to break the base.
Now we've got IMAY swapping towards top. Keep that Caitlyn moving. Keep that damage across as many turrets as possible. Duke gives it the missing ping as Amazing J is already showing up mid. He's got his ultimatum back off cooldown.
And he's mid because he wants to threaten the dive. He doesn't want to split push against the Fiora. So whenever he's hanging around the area, hovering around, Duke then has to come up, which removes the split pushing aspect of IG's team. The hard part's now. Baron buff's gone. It's pretty difficult to siege. They've got one inhibitor, but one's not actually enough to change the state of the game because it's the middle lane inhibitor. If they want to go for Elder as if it's a higher priority, then they need the top lane inhib to be gone. If they want Baron, they need the bottom lane inhib to be gone. Mid lane is the pivot point between all of them, and with a Varus that can take out those minions, Fiora that can take out those minions.
Yeah, it seems like it's just one of those nice things to have. Not quite the best, but better than nothing.
Just saves them some time.
Yeah, now Jin Zhao is slowly starting to get some chip damage onto the turret. Triple Mountain Dragon plus Camille is doing a lot of work as Duke targets Flawless. He flashes back. He's on top of the Redemption. Shield of Duran does not buy him enough time, but Duke is going so far. Melee Hero's entrance to try to knock him up as Starlight will die to protect his jungler. But again, that bloodthirsty tendency from Duke to just chase someone down.
And Starlight is the man who dies. Compliments of Flawless getting ulted by the Fiora. That is pretty much a tragedy for IMAY. It's going to buy Invictus Gaming a lot of time here as well. But it does just mean that realistically, whilst it was a cute play to bring the Nidalee with the Camille, they chunked turrets out extremely quickly. In case you're wondering, of course, Camille's Q still does damage to him with 3 Mountain Drakes. That's almost expected of them. However, now they can't continue to siege. Just means there will be an open inhibitor next time they go there.
Yeah, luckily Starlight will be back up well before that Baron respawns. 80 seconds before that objective is prepared, and we're already starting to see them set up vision.
I think the best way to play this out if you're IMAY is actually just to send the Caitlyn and everybody bottom. If you send the whole team bottom, get the second inhibitor, I don't think you're really worried that Invictus Gaming will leave their base and walk over to a Baron, because then you'd end the game anyway. You've got 3 Mountain Drakes.
Seems like they're sending Amazing J down there right now while Athena is hanging out nearby-ish with that Hero Skull. He's actually heading towards the Baron right now as Flawless is making his way on up there. So Amazing J just trying to keep Duke occupied, but Duke's sitting nice and far back. Doesn't want to take any chances that he gets caught out once again.
You know, last time we've seen Duke playing Fiora, he was on red side. He was sitting on the bottom lane when he 1v2'd.
Teleport
now he's teleporting.
Cancelled by Amazing J and Duke. So Amazing J went back to base, looking for a TP flank.
It's kind of funny that Amazing J cancels is now just walking top lane. Duke cancels and is hanging bottom lane.
Yeah.
This pretty much speaks to what both teams are trying to achieve right now. Duke is about one wave of hitting the bottom lane. They need to respect that. They've got Athena. They should send Athena.
Thinking about it, but might actually just force the fight onto Rookie again. The 1-2 knock-up combo. Redemption to top them off, but a huge Shield of Duran. Megan flashes back as the Peacemaker doesn't quite get it, but Amazing J's tactical sweep secures that kill.
Duke's here.
He's finally joined the fight, but he's already lost his support. And despite the big damage they do, they've got to be careful.
Now, I think Jin Zhao's damage is too much of a concern for Invictus Gaming, but their jungler is alive. They've only lost Megan, and you'd be happy with that, all things considered. The big combo was used. Baron has been kicked off.
Athena once again drops the Shield of Duran, but that triple mountain shreds through it so fast. Baron picked up, the fight breaks out. Duke is trying to proc the grand challenge, but he cannot. As Amazing J follows up onto Rookie, it looks like there is little chance for hope from Invictus Gaming as they are one by one being picked up piecemeal by IMAY.
And that's got to be game, honestly, with 5 people dead. Only the Thresh is going to respawn anytime soon. Big team fighting. I don't think Invictus Gaming expected a Baron to die in 2 seconds flat, but it crumbled, it melted.
Oh, yeah.
And now they've got the Baron, they've got the 3 Mountain Drakes. They siege mid lane.
Rushing down for those Nexus turrets. It's all up to Megan. He's caught by a stun, and returns back to the fountain. So, quick cleanup from IMAY as they turn onto the Nexus and break it down. They take game number 1 in their entry back into the LPL.
I think we defined Megan there as mega dead. There wasn't a lot left for him in that game. Good start for IMAY. Very good welcome back.
Yeah, and you can see Duke and Rookie on your screen looking a little bit shaken after that. I think they were expecting a bit more of a stronger performance, especially after keeping even with WE for at least one game just a few days ago. But now IMAY come in and use their own playstyles against them to break this match open.
And we said it during the draft as well. You know, they got the Fiora, they got the Orianna. It felt like Invictus Gaming had what they needed to win the game. I'm not sure if the Graves was the essential part that they should have had in the team. I still would have preferred something else, but IG banned them all away from Flawless.
Yeah.
So there wasn't anything left.
And now here to help us break that down is Raz. If not the Graves, then what, Raz?
Oh, see, I would have said Lee Sin. Lee Sin was banned.
Yeah.
Right? It was
By
banned.
them.
But exactly. That's my take, is that leave the Lee Sin open. I understand that that's Flawless's pick as well, but guess what else is Flawless's pick? Is Nidalee. Now, I actually would have, before this game, I actually would have said, you know what, give him Nidalee. Reason for it is because IMAY has been a scrappier team in the early game, and I would not have thought them to be well-structured early to mid-game, and I feel like that's what we saw. Every single time we saw Amazing J left alone with Duke in a duelist situation, we saw Starlight actually coming up and looking to help him. It was never just a 1v1 situation. He was always in a tougher spot, and so that's what's making it kind of difficult for IG, is that they were constantly challenged, and they probably didn't expect that.
Yeah, and something that we were able to expect at least a little bit was Amazing J's huge performance in that game. We just saw his damage at the end.
Yeah.
And that Camille was just chunking people down so much.
Yeah, and so I guess this goes perfectly into the next replay, because if you go into a Camille, you're like, well, what does the Camille actually provide, right? Like, it kind of doesn't really provide too much in the split push situation, especially since they know that they're going into the Fiora. Like, Fiora is going to outright beat you in the split push, and you can see he was struggling even though he's kind of getting a little bit of help. But what's beautiful about the Camille is that you can really just start flying after these team fights. Like, like what was great about after the Baron takes was that, sure, Galio was stopping people from coming through and was enforcing the fights, but then it felt like the fights were just over. Like, they were getting cleaned up because, much like Spider-Man, he's going to be flying across the entire map to get you.
Yeah.
And locking people down with ulti. And we saw so many times where you would just see people, like, for instance, Graves getting completely denied from taking Thresh Lantern because of the fact that Camille ulti went down. So it's a lot of, like, it's a good way to deny people from just escaping. And, of course, low cooldown on the hook shot makes it really difficult to be able to escape those situations.
And again, it really did seem like Duke wanted to play against Amazing J. Rookie wanted to play against Athena. West wanted to play against Jin Zhao. Whereas all of IMAY just wanted to play against the collective of IG, right? Like, IG were trying to play the lanes. They were trying to win their lanes and move forward from there. Whereas IMAY, they were content letting themselves get pushed in to turn back and take these objectives with huge neutral trades.
And so, Rusty, it kind of reminds me that, like, of last split where IMAY had such a bad laning phase. The early games were almost like, it's pretty atrocious, but when they get to late game, IMAY were so smart in how they picked up fights. Their flank plays from Amazing J were immaculate.
Yep.
But now it seems like that IMAY is a team that can actually play really smart in the early game, and Flawless really made it easier for them with the Nidalee pick.
Yeah, and I think having two farming junglers kind of speaks towards IMAY's wheelhouse just a little bit more because there's less early pressure against them, right? You've got a Galio mid lane now. Much less early pressure. Galio's never going to die, and you're against someone like Rookie who wants to kill you in lane.
Yeah.
And you've got the Camille and the Fiora matchup where Fiora needs to scale. Did really well early, granted, but not really going to kill you as the Camille either. You need the jungler to be involved, but it's a Graves. The ganks aren't going to be perfect. And so ultimately, I feel like this is a good example of IMAY getting a free pass to their mid game where they actually did look really good.
Yeah, and so they were just sieging up on turrets, and whenever they would do that, it was up to IG to be able to stop them. And you criticized the Graves for a right reason. He wasn't able to impact the early game, and in the late game, he's not going to be able to. There's no playmaking for that champion to get you out of it. And Fiora flanks, we saw an attempted flank in the mid lane that she would go for it. Immediately went right back. It's like, what am I doing here? I'm a Fiora. I don't even have lifesteal, so I'm just going to be immediately demolished in this fight. So it was incredibly hard since their only form of engage was off of Ori ball. They would throw the Ori ball out, and if that's the only thing they have to focus on is what's on the floor, then we're backing away from it.
Well, they did have Megan on Thresh, and he wasn't exactly landing the most clutch hooks either. But again, I think that comes down to positioning because IMAY were so hard to crack.
And what's sad about that, and this is great for IMAY, is that when he was looking for Thresh hooks, when he was looking for a play, it was always Galio that was just like,
in the front.
Are you trying to hook it?
Hooking me?
You hooking me?
You want to hook that guy?
You hooking me? Just charge up his snare, and you're like, I guess the Thresh is dead if he tries to commit to that, which happened multiple times in the Baron situation. So it feels like IMAY is looking cleaner. I like to see that coming out of them, and so we're going into it, and yep, Amazing J picking up the MVP.
94% kill participation. This guy was all over the map. We always talk about how important he is for his team, and this game just goes to show how vital he really is.
And that's a lot of damage as far as a top laner is concerned. 38%. We're getting towards the Doinby numbers, of course, not the 50s, but an awful lot.
And this is one of the team fights we were talking about here. Galio immediately takes 2 people because they have to walk up to Baron. And just take a look at Camille, because at this point in time, it's the Camille show. Gets the first kill there, flies towards the next kill. It's going to happen. You're slowing people down endlessly. You're like, Varus is just in a horror show at this point. Get me out of here. You ain't going nowhere. It's actually really depressing for him, because he's like, I guess he's at this point, I'm dead.
It's one of those awkward moments where you're like, hey, we should back up. Oh, wait, there's no one else with me.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just go back to base on a sepia-toned note.
Yep.
In that case. So then looking forward, IG, we've seen them lose to WE, who are currently looking like one of the strongest teams in the league, continuing their momentum from the spring split. And IG, now they've dropped a game to IMAY, who are continuing their momentum from spring. We're looking at some teams start to rev their engines and race towards the end of summer, towards Worlds and beyond. And then we're looking at teams like IG, who once again they need to try, kick the tires, walk around, get a new paint job, try to figure out what works for them.
Yep.
I guess the big question is, can they pull it together? We'll find out in just a few minutes. We've got game number 2 coming up, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.